1, 2, jump. Whoa!
Happy Sunday, everybody. Justin is gone today, so we are missing him, but we are continuing our tradition that we started a couple months ago of doing a charcuterie board after church every Sunday. So a lot of you might wonder what classifies a charcuterie board, but in my mind, you can make a board out of anything. If you want to do a dessert board, you can do a dessert board. If you want to do one with nachos, you can do a nacho board. But what we usually do is just find whatever we can in our fridge and put it out. I'll try to buy things here and there when I'm out at the store, so we have some fun things in the house. But we're going to be putting together a leftovers charcuterie board today with everything that we can find. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, we pulled everything out of our fridge and we didn't end up with enough room on the board. So I'm telling you, there are no rules. Just pull out all your favorite snacks, put them on a board, and it makes it so much more fun to eat it that way. And you realize how many fun snacks and things that you can make a meal out of. So we had all of this. I did not do any extra shopping for this. We've got strawberries, we've got blueberries, we've got all the different kinds of cheeses. We've got yogurt covered pretzels, pepper jelly over cream cheese, which is a regular. Our kids love that. More blueberries, because Ava split them up. We've got peppers. I love these small peppers. I get a big bag of these at Costco. We've got stroop waffles. We've got pretzels. We've got crackers. We've got celery. We've got prosciutto, oranges, rosemary almonds. This is some leftover from Justin's birthday. It's that fall salsa. It's got like butternut squash in it. So these kids are ready to dig in. Oh, and Turin took it upon himself to make some more of our leftover Olive Garden breadsticks, which will be so yummy with all of this. I love that he figured out how to do it on his own.
So we did my earrings. I got these kinds.
Ava's just giving everyone a little update from yesterday when she got her ears pierced. She picked out 2 different kinds of earrings. She's loving having her ears pierced. We've already cleaned them twice today. We're gonna do it once more.
No, 2.
2 times, right?
Yeah, 2 times.
She showed everybody at church today her new ear pierce. Can we wear this kind yet?
No.
How come?
Because the holes will close.
The holes will close if we take her earrings out. So how many days do we have to keep them in?
21.
3 weeks. Okay, today is Story Time Sunday. We wanted to get on here and tell you a story about a crazy thing that happened last year. So it's a Sunday. Justin is out of town for the next few days, and it's bringing back all these memories.
Bad memories.
So last year in November, it was a year ago, 2 days ago, and Justin was out of town. I've mentioned this before, but a year ago, May, Landon started having seizures when he falls asleep at night, which really has it just made everything at our house a little bit more stressful. A lot more stressful, really. So bedtime especially was kind of a stressful time because we just were worried. We didn't know if he was gonna have a seizure. So every night, Justin and I would lay next to Ashton and Landon in their room, and we would lay there for about 45 minutes to an hour, just making sure that he wasn't gonna have a seizure, because if he has a seizure, it's usually within the first 45 minutes of falling asleep. That's usually when they happen. So at that point, we can feel a little bit assured that he's not gonna have a seizure that night. I was in my regular routine of laying with Landon and Ashton. So Turin actually hadn't gone to bed yet. He was still awake. He was watching a football game in my room on the TV. And I got up after I'd laid with them for a while and came downstairs, and then Ava and Turin joined me. I was about to get them in bed, but I was kind of just trying to prepare for the next day. I was cooking a dinner for the next day. I just wanted to kind of get ahead on things because I was by myself, and sometimes there's a lot going on without Justin's help. So I was trying to kind of get ahead on things, and the smoke alarms went off down here. And I remember thinking, you know, I've cooked long enough that I know when there's a lot of smoke that's gonna set off a smoke alarm, and there wasn't enough smoke to set off a smoke alarm from the cooking. Yeah, I think I was cooking some sausage or something, and there wasn't that much smoke, and so I thought, well, that's weird. But my first gut reaction was, oh my gosh, if that smoke alarm wakes up Landon, I'm going to be so upset, because if he wakes up, he has to fall back asleep again, and then I have to worry all over again that he's gonna have a seizure. So I'm just like running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And Turin, I didn't even know he knew to do this. He grabs a towel and he's just waving that towel at the smoke alarm, and it wasn't doing a thing. So I'm opening as many windows as I can. Oh, I go to open the front door, and it didn't take me very long. Honestly, this was a matter of seconds where I finally realized this isn't adding up. like, he can't get it to stop. You know, this isn't coming from down here. And then it clicks that when one smoke alarm goes off in your house, it sets off all the alarms, which is the most amazing invention ever. So I feel like in that moment I was guided because I could smell the faintest smell of a different kind of burn, and it's because it was plastic burning, and it was just the most awful smell. And I ran right to it. I ran right up the stairs, ran right into my room, right into my bathroom. And so in my bathroom, you've seen this on the house tour, there's the big open part where the sinks are, but then there's the part, you know, the little toilet room. And there was a fire down by the toilet, and I honestly could not figure out that quickly why there was a fire on the ground. I couldn't figure out what would start it. The only thing I could come up with in my mind in that moment was that the bidet had started a fire. So as I'm running out of the room, I thought, first thing, I've got to get my kids out of the house, because I think in a situation like that, you don't know how quickly it's going to grow. The fire was already a decent size in the sense that I was concerned that it could spread quickly. I also didn't know where the fire had originated from. And so, you know, you worry, is it bigger somewhere where I can't see it? One of my worst fears is a house fire. So one thing that was a huge blessing is that Turin is my oldest, and Turin is an amazing kid. I think most of you have already picked up on this, but he's just somebody that I can count on. He is somebody that just gets it, and I knew that I could count on him. So I turned to Turin and I said, Turin, I need you to get everyone out of the house. And I kind of get teary when I think about it, because he didn't say, what's going on, Mom? He didn't panic. He didn't say, you know, no, tell me what's going on. Let me help you, whatever. He didn't say anything. He said, okay, Mom. And he ran up the stairs and he got Ashton and Landon out of their beds. And the next thing I knew, I saw him carrying Landon down the stairs in his arms. And that's probably my very, very, very favorite part of the story. I cry every time I talk about it, because he knew, without anybody telling him, that it was important to get his brothers out of the house, and he knew that Landon couldn't walk out of the house as quickly as he could carry him. And that will stay in my heart forever. Cute little Ava was crying, and he got everybody to the front porch, and I got the biggest bowl I could find in my kitchen, and I ran back up the stairs knowing that he got them out. And I ran back up and I filled it up and I dumped some on it, and it actually put it out to a decent amount, which I was really, really grateful for. The smoke in my room was really, really, really thick. And I just didn't, you know, it was kind of one of those things where you just have to trust your instincts, because I didn't know, you know, is this dangerous for my health? Should I not be in here right now? And so I ran back out to make sure that nobody had run back in. And my cute little Ashy was standing in the foyer in his underwear, because if anybody knows Ashy, he was very concerned about his mom. I'm sure all of you were concerned about your mom, but Ashy is the one to not listen and to go back in. So he was standing in the foyer. I said, Ashy, I need you to go outside. Well, right in that moment, I said to Turin, go get a neighbor. And now that I knew, now that I knew everyone was safe, I knew I could send him to go get someone. Well, right in that moment, my across the street neighbor, freezing cold, and my neighbor happens to be in his front yard working on some project. I can't remember what they told me it was, but it wasn't a normal thing to be doing in the middle of November. So anyway, he hears the alarms going off because my front door is wide open. My kids are standing on the porch, some of them in their underwear. And he, recognizes that we're in trouble, and he runs across the street and he comes and helps me. And I felt like that was, number one blessing being that Turin was the most incredible helper when I was alone. And number two, that my neighbor happened to be outside. I just don't believe that those things are by chance. And I felt like it was the biggest tender mercy that night that he happened to be outside. So the door's open. I've come to check on my kids. He runs up the stairs. I said, I've got a fire. So he comes in, he's helping me put the fire out. And it was such a blessing to have someone there, even for moral support, to say, hey, is this too dangerous to be in here? Should we, whatever. Where did this come from? We're trying to figure out where the fire originated from. He's opening windows. We're both coughing like crazy from the smoke. Well, we figure out that the fire has come from the ceiling. The fire originated from a bathroom fan. So, number one, I will tell you what I learned about bathroom fans, and many of you probably already know this, but
lint gets caught up there.
It builds up, yeah. So the lint builds up in the fan, and then
it just eventually catches up on fire.
If you leave the fan running, it overheats, and then the lint and the heat and the lint cause the fire.
Just lucky it didn't go up to the attic, because it would have spread around the whole house.
Yeah, so keep your bathroom fans clean. The fire somehow fell to the ground. And yes, it set the squatty potty, if any of you know what those are. It set our squatty potty on fire, but in some ways that contained it right there. If it had gone up, it would have gone through all of our insulation and probably spread to the entire roof and burned our entire house down. So we were really blessed. I feel really, 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 really grateful that it wasn't worse than it was. Turin, not realizing that I already had, you know, help, ran down to my neighbors 2 doors down and they came over and helped with my kids. We were so blessed with incredible people that night. There was a picture above my toilet that
Fell and like shattered the toilet.
it got so hot from the heat of the fire that it fell, shattered the toilet, and would have caused flooding. And so the fire, it literally happened while the firefighters were in that bathroom looking at it, trying to find the source of the fire. It fell right then, so they were able to turn off the water to the toilet so quickly that they kept our house from flooding. So the fourth blessing is that it didn't flood. So the firefighters, they went into the ceiling, measured the heat, made sure that the fire wasn't anywhere else. It was, you know, we were good. So we slept in the family room that night.
I could not sleep.
Yeah.
I did not. No one. I don't think anyone slept that night. At all.
I didn't sleep a wink. I think maybe Ashton, Landon, and Ava did, but Turin and I sure didn't sleep. We had the windows open because it just, felt so smoky. And, you know, honestly, the smoke really was maintained in my bedroom. Anyway, I remember Mindy coming over at some point that night, and she snapped a few pictures that I'll share with you of the firefighters here at the house and everything. But my neighbors 2 doors down were here at the house kind of taking care of my kids and helping me figure it out before the firefighters got there. And I came down the stairs to say, thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping me. I appreciate it so much. And Turin says, Mom, you got something in your teeth. And I'm thinking, oh man, that's embarrassing, because I was, you know, like, I hadn't done my hair that day. It was in some messy ponytail, and I'm pretty sure I'd eaten a late dinner. You know, it was just that whole, like, dad's out of town, chaotic mom type of a thing. So I go to the mirror to kind of like get the stuff out of my teeth. And
her teeth were black, like honestly, like dark black.
It looked like I'd done a charcoal treatment, because from being up there, my, you know, all my nostrils were filled with black soot and my teeth were completely covered. It really freaked me out.
Your lips were like black too. It was gross.
So while the kids were trying to sleep in the family room, I was in the bathroom with like a neti pot trying to like clean out all my sinuses of all this soot. But anyway, so for those of you that are This Is Us fans, you will laugh at me for this, but of course I'm thinking of the movie thinking, I'm gonna die of smoke inhalation. You know, like I'm just laying here thinking.
You did it.
Okay, Uncle Sean, for the very first time in his life, is not only on time for a family dinner, he is early. An hour early, because he thought it started at 5:30, which totally benefited us, because he came over to say hi to the kids and they are so excited to see him.
Okay guys, watch this. Come back here. Okay, think you can jump that far?
Yeah.
1, 2, jump. Whoa! Booyah!
Good job, Ava! Oh my goodness, Ava, did you show Sean what happened yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you showed him. Oh, good.
She showed me.
It's kind of a big day.
Go, let go.
What?
Okay, let go.
Okay, now do pull-ups.
Okay, Mom.
Okay, your shot?
No, it's your shot.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just watching. Okay, all right. I'll try to make it. One-handed, holding the camera, Lando.
That was the best, dude.
One-handed, baby. Nice. Landon's got his bike out, showing Sean his very first bike.
Good job, bro.
Okay, like I said, we're headed over to Brexton's house for a family birthday party. We are bringing him a gift. We're giving him $20 cash, because it's kind of fun when you're this age to be able to have money to go buy something that you want. So I was trying to find a good way to give him cash in a creative way instead of just handing him money. And I saw this thing where you wrap up the dollar bills in a few of the crayons. So I'm going to wrap up this coloring book in crayons, which, to be fair, he probably has a million of them already. So it won't be the most exciting gift to open, because we're tricking him and there's gonna be $20 hidden inside the crayon box. Okay, I'm inside working on presents, so I totally missed it, but apparently it took Sean how many turns to make it from the steps?
How many, guys? At least 20.
And Turin did it on his first try.
Watch out, watch out. You're gonna miss it, miss.
Oh! The camera's on and he does it! Oh my gosh!
That was unbelievable.
You've done 2 in a row?
With the camera on, bro.
Everyone's freaking out. Apparently he's paid everybody $1. I don't even know what for. What did you pay them $1 for?
They were rebounding for me, so I said if I can't make it the next 3 shots, I'll get you $1. That was after like 15 tries.
And Taryn got his first 2 in a row. Okay, I don't know if you can see, there are some crayons in here that are wrapped with money. Braxton does not know that, so we are gonna wrap this up. So this is what your mom says you really wanted.
Ooh, Brexy, what is this? This is gonna be amazing, I can already tell.
Oh!
19.
Gotta get the crayons.
To color. What do you tell her?
Thank you.
Show me the pages that are in it. Let's see the
Open
pages.
it up. I want to see what colors you got.
Brexy, what colors are
There's a
there?
card in there.
Every color.
Let's see what.
There's some cool.
Open up the crayons, dude. I want to see what colors of crayons you got.
Brexy, what color crayons are
Rexy, what
there?
color crayons do you have in there?
Right on the fireplace.
Let's see. Open them and let's show everyone all the colors. I don't know. Maybe like, I know that you really like this color.
Wait, what?
What is that, Rex?
What color is that? That's the color of happiness.
All the colors. All the colors.
Another
What?
It's
There's
got money
my
on it. Let's see.
15
There's
bucks?
secret money on it.
And a blue one.
And a blue.
And a blue one.
What? 20 bucks? Wait, let's see. Let me see this real quick.
Purple one.
So Brexy, I was teasing you on the coloring book. You can throw it away.
That was just a way to hide the money, Brexy.
That was very clever.
But do you know what, Brexy? Do you want to know what's really sweet is that you are so grateful for a silly little coloring book. Okay, we're back from Braxton's birthday party. Everybody's in bed, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit more about the house fire. We were talking about it earlier, so I'm going to take you on a little tour around my room and show you exactly where it happened. Okay, this won't do it justice because it doesn't look the same, but all the lights were off in my room. And back here, this light was off as well. I have it dimmed, but it was just like this orange glow. And none of this looked like this because as I mentioned in our house tour, this all got redone, which I found out the next day was going to be the case. So I walk into this room and the squatty potty is on fire, like full on fire. And the only thing I could come up with was that, you know, something with the bidet and the electrical part of that started a fire. I just couldn't figure it out. Well, it turns out the fire started right up here. This is obviously replaced now, but it had collected lint and the fan had been running and it started a fire. Well, the fire fell down and caught the squatty potty on fire. And like I said, if it had gone up, which, you know, heat rises, into the ceiling, into the insulation, spread across the roof, it could have been a very, very different ending. So we feel really grateful for that. But yeah, the fire stayed here. I also thought about how quickly it could have expanded into the walls. It's a very small room and then spread quickly from there. But what happened right here by, you know, on the tile floor, the tile here was completely melted. So they had to replace the entire floor in my bathroom, which was nice. We got to replace it with this. And then that same tile wrapped around my tub, so they replaced that as well. The biggest damage came from smoke. So all of the walls were stained. Well, they were soot covered, they were black, they just had stains all over them. So these walls were purple and they painted over all of those. In my actual bedroom, it looked like it was raining ashes. My entire bed was covered in soot, just covered in ashes. The carpet was covered in ashes. All the walls were stained. They were just like black. And then my entire closet looked like it had been raining ashes as well. They had to wash every item of clothing in my closet. They had to professionally clean it. It was a big project. They had to replace my mattress. They had to professionally clean my bed. It was a very long process over many, many, many months. We didn't, you know, have our bedroom or our bathroom. It was pretty crazy. It's kind of a funny story because we called the restoration company the next morning and said, you know, we had a little fire, but it was put out quickly. I don't think there's a lot of damage. I said, I know the toilet will need to be replaced, but that's probably it. And he said, well, you know, we'll come and give you an estimation, because if it's less than $500, then you may not want to submit it to insurance. And I said, well, I don't think it'll hit the 500, but you can come look. It's just funny how when you don't have experience in these kinds of things, you have no idea. It was tens of thousands of dollars in damage, and I had no idea. I had no idea what project was ahead of us, but in the end, I'm grateful that we got this remodel done in our room. It's a completely different look now. That was the silver lining, is that we got a little bit of a makeover. But like I said, talking about it earlier, it was a very stressful time in our lives, and I already felt very overburdened. Justin and I kind of felt like when Landon's seizures started that it just broke us a little bit, you know? We'd already been through a lot with him, but for some reason the seizures just really, they were just really hard on our house. I don't even know how to explain it. We felt so nervous, so anxious all the time, so stressed out, so worried. I think it was because, you know, it was just one more thing. It was something we couldn't control, we couldn't fix it. Seizures are incredibly difficult to watch. And I think in some ways it just made us feel feelings of anger and sadness and bitterness that our little boy had to go through something like that. So that was already going on at our house. So when the fire happened, it was easy to feel like it was just one more thing. It was just one more hard thing that we had to go through, one more, you know, rainstorm at our house. It kind of, I don't know if you ever feel that way in life where you think, man, it just feels like it's pouring rain at our house and nobody else's. And we really kind of felt that way for a while, and it's not really a productive way of thinking, but that's kind of how we felt for a little while. And so as much as it was easy to kind of feel that way, there was no doubt in my mind that we were watched over and we were protected through that experience. And I am so grateful for that. I know our family was protected. I know our family was watched over, because we were so lucky and the outcome was so different than it really could have been. So anyway, I felt grateful through that experience, how I felt the hand of God in my life, how I felt Him there watching over and protecting us, how I realized that even when we're going through really difficult things, that He's always there carrying us through those hard things. Anyway, kind of a serious vlog today. Thanks for watching and hearing all about our crazy house fire story. So much better November this year, although I'm having a little bit of PTSD every time I ever hear a smoke alarm or any sort of beeping. But anyway, I'll be single momming it for the next few days, so come along for the ride. We'll see you guys tomorrow.